You know a secret that could destroy the most powerful man in Japan. You didn't ask for it. You didn't want it. It came to you the way all dangerous things come to a geisha, whispered across a sake cup in a private room, by a man who forgot for one moment that you were listening. Men always forget you are listening. That is your gift. That is your curse. And tonight, as the rain falls on the streets of Kyoto and footsteps approach your okiya that you don't recognize, you are beginning to understand that knowing too much in Japan is exactly as dangerous as knowing nothing at all. Perhaps more. You were not born a geisha. You were born in 1921 in a small fishing village outside Kyoto. Your father smelled of the sea and sake in equal measure. Your mother was beautiful once, before poverty and children and disappointment carved the beauty out of her face. You were 6 years old when she sold you. Not cruelly, not violently. She held your face in her hands and looked at you for a long time, and then she told you that you were going somewhere better. Somewhere with food every day. Somewhere with silk instead of rags. She was not entirely lying. The woman who came for you was called an okasan, a mother. She ran an okiya, a geisha house, in the Gion district of Kyoto. She looked at you the way a merchant looks at uncut jade. Potential, raw material, something that could be worth a great deal with the right hands working on it. She paid your mother the equivalent of what your father might earn in 6 months. Your mother did not look back as the cart pulled away. You did. That was the last time you were ever truly a child. The okiya is nothing like your village. Tatami floors polished to mirrors. The smell of white face powder and green tea and incense. Girls in various stages of training moving through the corridors like silent ghosts. Everything ordered. Everything controlled. Everything beautiful on the surface. Everything demanding underneath. You begin as a maid. You clean, you serve, you watch. For 3 years you do nothing but observe the older geisha. How they walk, how they pour sake, how they laugh at a man's joke even when it isn't funny, how they make every man in the room feel like the most important person alive. This, your okasan tells you, is the art. Not the dancing, not the music, not the white makeup and the silk kimono. The art is making a man feel seen. Because men, powerful men, rich men, men who command armies and industries and governments, are desperately, pathetically hungry to be seen. And a geisha who makes them feel that way can ask for anything. You learn the shamisen until your fingers bleed. You learn the tea ceremony until every movement is perfect. You learn to apply the white face paint, the mask, that transforms you from a girl from a fishing village into something otherworldly. At 15, you become a maiko, an apprentice geisha. Your face painted white, your lips red, your black hair pinned with flowers. You are beautiful. You are also no longer yourself. Here is what the tourists who visit Gion don't understand. They see the kimono, the painted face, the graceful bow. They think geisha are decorative, ornamental. They think the men who spend fortunes entertaining in ozashiki tea rooms are paying for beauty. They are not. They are paying for discretion. In the ozashiki room, behind closed screens, away from wives and rivals and newspapers, men speak freely. Business deals worth millions of yen. Political alliances. Military decisions, personal scandals. In the intimate warmth of sake and shamisen music, powerful men say things they would never say anywhere else. And the geisha who pours their sake, who laughs at precisely the right moment, who makes them feel safe and seen and important, she remembers everything. You are 19 years old and you have learned more about the men who run Japan than most journalists ever will. You know which industrialist is selling steel to both sides of a coming conflict. You know which government minister has a second family in Osaka. You know which general is planning something that even his own commanders don't know about yet. You keep all of it behind your painted smile. Until the night of the 14th of August, 1937. His name is General Hideki Matsumoto. He is not the most powerful man you entertain, but he is the most dangerous. You can see it in the way other men in the room change when he enters, the way spines stiffen, the way laughter becomes slightly too loud and slightly too forced. He has been coming to your tea house for 3 months. He drinks more than the other men. He talks more than the other men. He forgets, more than the other men, that you are there. On the night of the 14th, he drinks a great deal of sake, and he says something, quietly, to another man across the low table, while you sit just behind his left shoulder playing the shamisen. That makes your fingers stop moving on the strings for just one heartbeat. Just one heartbeat. He doesn't notice, but what he says tells you 3 things. First, that Japan is planning a military operation that has not been announced. Second, that hundreds of thousands of civilians in a city called Nanking are in its path. Third, and this is the part that stops your blood, he is not troubled by this. He is pleased. You resume playing immediately. You pour his sake with steady hands. You smile at exactly the right moment. You are the perfect geisha. Inside, you are completely still with the weight of what you now carry. You tell no one. For 3 weeks you tell no one because you don't know who to tell. Japan in 1937 is not a place where a 19-year-old geisha can walk into a newspaper office and give information about a general's military plans without disappearing before the article is ever printed. But there is a man. A journalist, American. He has been coming to the tea house occasionally for 6 months. His Japanese is excellent. His questions are always careful. His eyes are always watching. You have noticed him noticing things. In the world of the ozashiki room, where nothing is said directly, where everything moves through suggestion and implication, you find a way to let him know you have something. Nothing spoken. A particular arrangement of objects on the tea tray. A specific song played without being asked. He understands. He passes you a note inside a folded handkerchief. Meet me. Tomorrow. The bridge by the Kamo River. Dawn. You go. You tell him what you heard. All of it. Every word. He stares at you for a long time. Do you understand what you've just done? You understand perfectly. Because 3 nights after your meeting, a man you have never seen before comes to the okiya asking for you specifically. Your okasan's face when she comes to find you tells you everything. She is afraid. Your okasan has never been afraid of anything in her life. History gives us 2 versions of what happens next. Ending A, the mask holds. You go to meet the man your okasan sent for you. He is military intelligence. He knows about your meeting on the bridge. He knows about the American journalist, who has already, he tells you calmly, been escorted out of the country. He tells you that you have 2 choices. Forget everything you heard. Or become a problem that needs to be solved quietly. You choose to forget. You spend the next 8 years being the perfect geisha. You entertain generals and ministers and industrialists. You pour sake with steady hands. You smile at exactly the right moments. You hear things that would make the outside world scream. You say nothing. After the war ends, you are still there. Older, more expensive, more powerful in the quiet way that geisha accumulate power. You never speak about General Matsumoto. You never speak about Nanking. You never speak about the American journalist. But every year on the 14th of August, you sit alone in your room and you play the shamisen. The same song you were playing the night you heard something you were never supposed to hear. You play it all the way through. Then you put the instrument away, and you never speak of it again. Ending B, the mask breaks. You run. Not immediately, not obviously. With the patience and precision of a woman trained since childhood to show nothing on her face. They trained you to make powerful men feel seen. They forgot that a woman who truly sees everything.